Alright, so let's take a look at the first page of the homework that was given out. A certain brand of sardines usually sold for 3 cans for $2. Suppose that the price is changed to 4 cans for $2.50. Will the new cost for 12 cans be more or less than the usual cost for 12 cans? And by how much? Well, the trick here is we need to find something called unit price. And if you go to the grocery store, you'll see that the labels have a unit price that's printed very small on the right-hand side. And that's the cost for each item, cost per item, per meaning divide. So to find the unit cost here, we want the cost per can. So let's make it. So we have $2 for 3 cans. The new cost is going to be 4 cans for $2.50. So again, cost per can. So we have $2.50 over 4 cans. And we are going, and so this is the cost for 1 can, 2/3 of a dollar. Obviously, you normally have it as cents, but let's keep it as a fraction because it'll be much faster. So we're going to have 12 cans. So let's multiply it out. So let's cross reduce. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So under this scheme, or the old scheme, it's going to be $8. Under the new scheme, 4 goes into 12 3 times. In the new scheme, it's $7.50. You'll know that $7.50 is 50 cents less. In the addition problem to the right, A, B, and BA each represent 2-digit numbers. The A and B stand for different digits. Find the value of A. So this sentence is simply saying that A and B cannot be the same number, because if when you switch the order, you get a different 2-digit number. So if I'm looking at this, I know that B plus B has to equal 10, because that's how A shows up in this column and the answer. So that makes B 5. Great. So that means we have to carry 1. And so now all of a sudden, well, I gotta sneeze. Now we have our 10 again. So 5 plus 1 plus A has to equal 10 because we still have this A in the answer. So you know that 1 plus 5 plus A equals 10. So we have 6 plus A is equal to 10. Well, therefore A has to equal 4. Now we have another problem, a very similar problem. And to be honest with you, I struggled with this one a little bit until I did what I should have done in the first place, until I wrote out all of the possible digits. So we know we could be using a 0, a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 9 for substituting in for these values. And so let's read the problem. It says, in the addition problem to the right, different letters represent different digits. It is also given that n is 6. Well, let's put that in. And t is greater than 1. That's a big deal. T is greater than 1. What 4 digits does this represent? Something plus something has to equal 6. It's got to be 3 plus 3. It's pretty much all it can be in this case. So then we have I plus I is equal to E. And we know we didn't carry anything over. And so then I look over here and see that E comes up again. Well, the only way for that to work is if this is I plus I is over 10, so I'd have to carry a 1 over, and then that would make this 10. Well, if this is 10, that has to be 0, this has to be 0, so there's our 5s. 5 plus 5 is 0. Well, 10. So that means we're going to carry carry one number over here, and 1 plus t is k. So let's, and this is where I got a little stuck until I wrote this out. Let's cross off what we've already used. We've used 6, we've used 3, 5, 0, and so h had to be 9, because 1 plus 9 is 10. So some t plus 1 has to be k. That means t is 1 less than k. Well, for that to work, we only have 2 consecutive numbers remaining. And it says it can't be 1. So that means it's got to be 7. So we end up with 7, 9, 5, 3. I'll write that again. That's it. All right. This ticket problem is just like what we did in class. Tickets for a concert cost $2 each for children and $5 each for adults. A group of 30 people consisting of children and adults paid a total of $87 for the concert. How many adults were in the group? Well, we know that each child is $2. So we know 2 times the number of children's tickets will get to view how much money you earn from children's tickets. Likewise, you know that each adult ticket is $5. So $5 times A is the amount that you earn from the adult tickets. And to get the total costs, or total income, we add those together. But it also says that 30 people bought tickets total. So that means the number of children's tickets plus the adult tickets is going to equal 30. So this is something called substitution. I'm going to say that C is equal to 30 minus A. Right? Because if I knew this, I would take 30, subtract the number of adult tickets, and I get the number of child tickets, right? And the reason why I'm doing that one is because I want to know the adults. I want to substitute in for C, A. Now, if C is equal to 30 minus A, what can I write instead of this C here? 30 minus A. So we have 2 times 30 minus A, because this is C, plus 5A is equal to 87. So when you have a number next to a parentheses, it means you're multiplying. So 2 times 3 is 60. 2 times negative A is negative 2A plus 5A. Well, if I have 5 A's and I take 2 A's away, I have 3 A's. And that's a positive. And then, so 60 plus something is 87. Well, that means that 3A has to equal 27. So something times 3 is 27. What's that something? A is 9. All right, finally, this last problem is just like one that we had in a previous competition. We have a square that's divided into 4 congruent rectangles. And we know that each one of these long rectangles has a perimeter of 25. Well, what does that mean? That means that half of it is going to, if I have my length and my width plus my width is going to be equal half the 25. Excuse me. So, what else do I know? I know that the length is going to be equal to 4 of these, right? So I know that the length is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 W's. So So if L is equal to 4W, what can I write instead of L? That's right, 4W. So I have 4W plus W is equal. So we have 5W is equal to 12.5. And so something times 5 is 12.5. And if you're familiar with the multiples of 5, 5 goes into 125 25 times. So the width is 2.5. So if this is 2.5, and I have 4 of them, this whole thing is 10. And looking at my question, how many units are there in the perimeter of the square? Well, if each side is 10, my total is 40. Now, Campbell actually, sorry Campbell for outing you on this one, Campbell did it a little bit differently. That's how I would do it because I want to turn everything into equations and solve equations. But Campbell did this. He said, well, the perimeter was 25. Well, so he put it here because he knew 5 times 4 is 20. And that would equal the length. But then obviously, the length plus the small width, was already equal to the entire 25 units of the perimeter. So that means that if that's only half, that he needed to divide both of those by 2. So that the perimeter would work out right. And therefore, we have a length of 10, and that would give me a perimeter of 40.